Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're getting into a topic that's less about just memorizing things and much more about starting a personal journey. We're going to explore the powerful connection between language, humility, and most importantly, action. So let's jump right in.
I want to start with this simple question, because honestly, everything we're about to cover, from the power of our words to the practice of humility, it all really starts with this one fundamental act. We're talking about listening not just to come up with a reply, but listening to actually deeply understand. Okay, so let's talk about language. It's really easy to think of it as just a tool, right? Something we use for communication. But it is so much more than that. Language is really the fabric of a culture. It shapes our identity, and it's tied to a community's basic right to shape its own future. And that brings us to this really crucial idea: self-determination. You see, when a language is thriving, it's a huge sign that a community has the power to define its own world on its own terms. So, preserving a language isn't just about saving words from a dictionary. It's about upholding a people's right to exist and to flourish. Acknowledging all of this kind of puts us at a crossroads. So, how do we engage with cultures and experiences outside of our own in a way that's truly meaningful? Well, the answer isn't about trying to become an expert. It's actually about embracing a mindset of humility. Now, this slide shows a really important shift in thinking. On one side, you have cultural competence, which can kind of feel like a checklist, a class you can take and then you're done. But on the other side, cultural humility completely reframes the goal. It's not about trying to master someone else's culture. Instead, it's about committing to a lifelong process of learning about others and about yourself. And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? There's no finish line here. Cultural humility isn't some certificate you can earn and hang on the wall. It's a continuous, day-in, day-out practice of showing up, of listening, of learning, and just being open to the fact that you will always have more to learn. So what does this practice actually look like? Well, it pretty much stands on three key pillars. First, there's that commitment to always be learning and to look inward at our own biases. Second, it's about recognizing that our interactions don't just happen in a vacuum. There are real historical power imbalances at play. And third, it's about working to make our institutions and systems more accountable for everyone. This internal mindset of humility is so important, but it has to lead to external action, which brings us to our third part, where we connect this mindset to the very tangible, active work of anti-racism. The key word to focus on here is active. See, anti-racism isn't just a passive belief that racism is wrong. It's the conscious, ongoing effort to identify and actively work against racism in all its forms, in our institutions, in our communities, and yeah, even in ourselves. One of the most common places this work really shows up is in how we handle microaggressions. These are those subtle, sometimes unintentional comments or questions that can make a person feel like an outsider. Things like, "Where are you really from?" Now, the person saying it might not intend to cause any harm, but the impact can be huge because it just reinforces these harmful stereotypes. So, what do we do when we say something like that or maybe see it happen? This slide gives us a clear path forward. First, just focus on the impact, not what you intended. That's the most important part. Second, take a moment to reflect on where that comment might have come from inside you. And third, respond with that humility we've been talking about. An apology isn't about shame, it's about acknowledging the impact and promising to learn and do better. That's humility in action.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from the deep meaning of language to the lifelong practice of humility and the active work of anti-racism. But listen, this isn't just theory. This is a personal journey, and it all starts with a single decision. This isn't about trying to become the perfect ally overnight. That's not even the goal. The real goal is just to start, to take one step forward on this path of learning and action, and then another, and another. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. As you finish up with this explainer, what is one tangible anti-racism step you can commit to? Maybe it's reading a certain book, or following a new voice online, or just having a brave conversation you've been putting off. Whatever it is, make it your own. Because that one step is how the whole journey begins.